This conference will now be recorded.
Hi SQL folks, let's talk about on functions, how they will impact in SQL Server performance in where and join clauses. Okay, so let me show you some examples. Hmm. So team, I recommend you mostly avoid the functions in the where clause or join clause columns. Okay, so those are all really, it impacts a lot to the SQL Server performance team while retrieving the data. Okay, so let me show you some of the examples so that you can understand practically. So team, here there is a query. If I run this query, I'm getting the data. Okay, so here I'm using a function, year function. See, order date, there is a year, month and date. Okay, so I want to see only 2014 data. Huh? So I'm getting the data. Fine, it is showing the data, the right data only. Uh, Instead of using this function, hmm, so I'm saying you can avoid the function step. Why? Because if you use the function, it will scan. It will scan all the rows of in this table T. Okay. So function always it takes the value as a input and it returns the value. We all know. So row by row, it processed it. Even if we have an index on this column, it won't use. What is the use? If it is row by row scanning, if you have an index or don't have an index, no use. Okay. So even if you have a index, that won't be helpful to you. Okay. So avoid the functions team. Huh? So that you will get a good performance. The example is something like this. Instead of year, so something you can give like this. Okay, it gives the same data only. So let me run both the queries and let's see the performance. So include the actual execution plan and run it. Okay, so for both same rows only, team, see 11,761, 11,061. Okay, so query data wise no mismatch, both are same. But if you see the execution plan, so here execution plans also same thing. But if you see like how much CPU, compile time, execution time, uh, logical reads, physical reads, obviously this one takes more. Okay, so if you want, you can use that also. Set CPU on, set. So if you give those values, you can also see logical reads, physical reads, and all for each query. So now I am not using those things. So let's see, like if you compare both the execution plan, it's here it is showing 50% only, right? Okay. So, but here it is suggesting an index. Okay, here it is suggesting an index team. So that means if you have this index, if you create this index, so index on what? Order date. uh, this query performance will be improved. See, right click, just right click, missing index details. Just create it. Okay. So I have created some index. Don't give the names like this. Just give some, follow some naming conventions and all. I don't want to waste your time to give all those syntaxes and all. Leave it. So we just created an index on this table. If you like Alt F1, you can see the properties of the table. Then you will have that index. Okay, somewhere. See, this is the index we just created on order date. If you create a index on order date, obviously, like I told you right in the previous classes. Okay, so avoiding say table scan, cluster index scan, you need to use filter columns in the index so that you can avoid index scan, table scan and all. So if you want, you can watch that video here, team. Yeah, so we have created an index uh, on the order date. Let's see the performance now. So for now, like if you see the execution plan, it's taking same time, but obviously this query is good comparatively this one. If you check the logical reads, physical reads and all, so this is the best one. So I'm not checking those, leave it. So I have created index. Now see the two queries performance now after creation of the index on the order date. Okay, so just click on execute. Okay, so now also same rows. If you see the execution plan now, see the first one it is taking 72%. Though you have a index on, though you have a index on order date, it is not using that index team. That's the problem with the functions. Okay, no use. Huh? So team, like in the where class or join class columns. So the functions, if you use, see this kind of, I mean, it will not be used to that function. Okay. So avoid using functions. Go for any alternatives. If you don't have alternatives, just use that function only. Okay. Yeah. So see here, if you see the execution plan, so this is the index we have created, right? See, that's the index. See, AdventureWorks, name of missing index. See that index, it is helping here to retrieve the data. Okay, so that's why it avoid the functions, especially from the left side. Left side means on the columns of the table. If you are passing the values, on the value side, you can use the function, that's fine. Okay, on the value side, you can use the function, but not on the columns. Yeah. So let's see one more example. Okay. So here also we are using a function left. Okay. Left means there is a last name. Like suppose my last name is Bolla, Bolla. So here comparing with the first letter S. Okay, if it is yes, the first letter, then it is retrieving the data, first letter. Okay, so run this. So for all these guys, the first letter, sorry, the last name of the first letter is yes. Can you see? Sabella, socks tender. See, all letters are yes. So it starts with yes only. The last name, the last name. Okay, so here also we are seeing the problem. What is the problem? We are using the function at the left side of left side. See, there is a equality operator, right? Equality operator, right side and left side. See, left side, see, this is the left side. So left side, if you use the function on the columns, that definitely a problem. I just showed you, right, on this order date. So is there any alternative for this? Yes, we have alternative. So you can use the like operator. People in general say like operator it consumes a lot of resources. Yes, they are also true. If the the like operator when they take lot of resources, when you starts with like this hash. Okay, so don't start with try to avoid start with this one day percentage, not hash, sorry, percentage. Okay, because it has to replace and it like searchable, it is really tough thing for SQL Server. So what we are doing here, last name like yes. If any last name starts with yes, then it will display. It won't search the next values, the next characters. It won't check. It won't search. Okay, so that's the advantage. If you see the comparison of both the queries, let's see, execute. Okay, so here say the first one 80 to 88% it is taking. The next one only 12%. This one you can still reduce team by creating a index on the last name. But here team, there is already a relevant index to use this last name like yes percentile. So you that one it is using this index. See, there is a index on last name, first name and middle name. Okay, so that this query using that index already. So like this, avoid the functions where in the where clause, join clause columns, especially on the column stream, not the values. Okay, values you can use, that's okay. So value means a single row, right? A single digit. Yes or no? So here last name is how many rows in this table? That many rows. That many rows of last name passed to this function. Okay, it takes all one by one, takes the value. Huh? So like let me show you. Takes this value like Sabella last name, and it gives this function. In the function it process it, and it returns this Sabella. Okay, so here what will happen in the Sabella function? Okay, it takes the first value Sabella. Okay, it take the first this one. Okay, it takes this function and it will enter. huh? It will matches this one and it returns entire this value like this for all the rows. If it takes the table, suppose the table having million rows, how much time it will take? Okay, if you have index also, no use it. huh? So avoid the functions like this. huh? So let me tell you one more example. See here also one of the example. huh? So we are doing some mathematic calculation. huh? Here also see on the list price we are doing some operation. huh? This also kind of a functioning. huh? So see the performance difference between these two queries. These two queries will show the same result only. Okay, A into B greater than C. What you can do, A equals to B by C. huh? So see it gives same result only for both the values. Just make it up little. Yeah, see 112 565 same rows only. See 210 210. But if you see the performance difference, see this is the best. Okay, so here some index scanning is happening. So here index scan is happening. Here index seek is happening. I told you so. It won't use the index ST. So okay, if you use the function, because it has to scan, all the list prices of the table. So functions are very dangerous team in the big size databases. Okay, so team, you believe it or not, okay, in our environment team, like almost 40 terabyte database we are handling team. We are completely like we say no to the function at all. Because if scans million billion rows in a table, that takes a lot of time, that consumes a lot of resources. This impact will fall on the other queries also, because if I run this query, it will consume a lot of CPUs, memory and IO. What about other queries? Other queries also need some CPU, memory and IO, right? Say avoid completely the functions, go for some alternatives always. Okay, design the table in such a way also. Okay, use some computed columns also, so that if you have a some column, extra column um, with this computed already, then you can get the data directly instead of using this. Okay, so go with those computed columns also, if you want to. Yeah, another example, let's see team. So I have seen people team in real time. People mostly use upper class, lower class, okay, and is null. huh? So these are all like some other L trim, R trim. Why unnecessarily you need to keep it in? Avoid if it is really, if you are say L trim, R trim. If you have any extra spaces in the column data, if you have a extra spaces in the column data, then go and use L trim, R trim, that's fine. But first of all, why you inserted a extra spaces data in that table? huh? So please avoid L trim, R trim, is null. Is null, it's fine. Okay, in the where class and all. So is null, it's fine. We have null data, definitely we will have in the tables, but not null columns, don't use is null and all. Okay, just use the brain team before writing the queries and all. L-trim, odd-trim, upper, lower, this all consumes lot of resources. If you have index also, it won't use it all. Okay, see this example. Say the first question I'm asking, the first question here I have is why? See, SQL Server is by default. Okay, mostly all SQL servers in the world, uh, case insensitive. Case insensitive. If you search with capital letters or small letters, it results same data only. Capital, small, no matter. Okay, check the SQL Server collation team. If it is case insensitive, then both are same. Okay, you don't need to use the function like first name is jar means it will give the upper, small. It consider as same only. Okay, so mostly SQL servers in the world is case insensitive, not case sensitive. Okay, case insensitive. So if you want to really uh, search it in, like if you want to like only upper, you want you see like this. Let's see the data now. See here, the rows are 58 58. Okay, so here I want to, one second, John. Okay, see here we have John. See, unnecessarily here using function upper. Like, see, somebody have a fear that, so suppose if you have a data something like this JOHN, it won't return the data. No, it's not like that. If the data is JOHN letters, JOHN, whether those are all capital or small, it returns all the data. Okay, it returns all the data type. So don't use these functions in real time. Okay, so if it is case insensitive, then that's fine. Case sensitive, then it's okay to use this function, but instead of this you can use this one. Okay, so there is a collate, so use this one and get the data. One second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I'm back. So team, like this, you can avoid the functions here in case sensitive, unsensitive teams. If you have a really case sensitive, your database is like this, you can use the correlation and you can search it. Team. Okay, so uh, that's it, team. The conclusion is, so avoid the functions, team. Why you need to avoid the functions in where class, join, on class columns? Because those, row by row, like it takes and returns the value, so it takes a lot of time. It consumes a lot of resources. Even if you have indexes, no, it won't use those indexes. We have seen so far. Okay, so that's why, team, like even not only in functions, team, like uh, you might have heard like if you do row by row, it takes a lot of time. Avoid the cursors, you know. So even cursors also take, like cursors also row by row operation, right? It takes a lot of resources. Huh? So instead of row by row, go for like set based, like at a time, these many rows at a time. Like that, you can go and that takes less number of resources, and also it will use the indexes on the existing database or tables. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. So if you want to more videos something like this, you can subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.